2018 saw the victorious return of Kevin Costner to the Western genre with the Taylor Sheridan cable drama Yellowstone. Reruns and streaming helped the show gain popularity beyond its initial poor run, and it has now created a franchise that features more conventional horse operas, like the critically praised prequel miniseries 1883. But Costner has returned to the big screen, taking on his most recent frontier story, Horizon, an American Saga, following nearly 5 seasons on the neo-Western. 2 distinct chapters of this feature film series will be released this summer in an effort to revive the Western epic in theaters. However, what does Horizon represent for the genre as a whole, and how will Costner's subsequent success or failure affect viewer interest? TV westerns with big characters like Longmire and Yellowstone. These cowboy tales were told in almost every media during the height of the Western genre, which occurred between the late 1940s and the mid-1960s. The Western genre permeated, some might even say oversaturated, the American entertainment landscape, appearing in everything from radio serials to comic books, novels, television shows, and, of course, theatrical motion pictures. You could never escape the gunslingers and cops fighting it out in the streets, no matter how far you attempted to flee. Even while the genre's extreme popularity gradually waned, it has recently made a comeback on the small screen, especially with the introduction of streaming. With Costner returning to the lead role for the first time in a while, Yellowstone was a guaranteed winner for the Paramount Network in the wake of the success of famous 2010s series like Westworld, Justified, Hell on Wheels, and Longmire. In addition to creating 1883, 1923, and numerous other unfinished projects since then, cowboy-turned-actor-turned-filmmaker Taylor Sheridan's popularity has persuaded other studios and networks to adopt their own visions for bringing six-shooters, horses, and gunslingers back to television. Both Deadwood and Justified were brought back for a short miniseries in 2023 and a 2019 film adaptation, respectively. New ventures were also given the go-ahead, including Joe Pickett, Lawman, Bass Reeves, Outer Range, Walker, Independence, Dark Winds, and Wild West Chronicles. These were all spurred on by the popularity and performance of Kevin Costner's most recent blockbuster television series. And that's hardly even a comprehensive list. Hollywood's present tastes have broadened beyond superheroes and action comedy, despite the fact that the Western's recent success on the small screen was never due to a lack of interest in the genre. Furthermore, it becomes clear that, in both historical and contemporary settings, people are still tremendously invested in these American West-based narratives. Naturally, this does not imply that Westerns have stopped appearing on huge screens in the 21st century. Among the films released in the early 2000s were the highly regarded remake of 3:10 to Yuma and Open Range, Costner's final Western before Yellowstone, Django Unchained, and a reimagined True Grit dazzled audiences worldwide in the 2010s, and The Power of the Dog and Killers of the Flower Moon, if you even count the latter as a Western, have also gotten off to a strong start in the 2020s. The Western genre has even permeated the superhero genre. Logan, for example, took inspiration straight from the iconic 1953 movie Shane. However, Costner appears to be bringing back to life a bygone Western subgenre that hasn't been seen much in the 21st century with Horizon, an American Saga, the epic Western. Horizon, an American Saga, is a bold endeavor from the West. The moment is definitely right for Kevin Costner to return to the director's chair, and this time he has a very full plate. In February 2024, Costner said to The Hollywood Reporter, "I got the bright idea to make 4 when no one wanted to make the first one. I intended it to deviate from the typical Western trope of an established town. Nobody is aware of the town's origins." Costner aims to chronicle American westward expansion in the style of How the West War Won, by examining the time period preceding and following the American Civil War with Horizon, which also appears to be the name of the township that serves as the focal point of the films. But Costner is taking on the entire project, which will involve 4 feature films, instead of engaging different directors to tell a few storylines for a single epic. Horizon has a point to prove, almost as if it's Costner's classic Western response to James Cameron's endless Avatar epics or the now serialized Marvel Cinematic Universe. With each movie in the trilogy expected to cost over $100 million, this is one of his most ambitious projects to date and the most innovative series of back-to-back westerns ever produced. If Horizon is a hit, there will undoubtedly be a comeback to the genre, with well-made, director-driven westerns taking the lead. That's the closest thing we've seen since the early 1990s, when Clint Eastwood's Unforgiven and Kevin Costner's Dances with Wolves both created waves at the Academy Awards. At same time, other movies such as Tombstone, The Ballad of Little Joe, Ride with the Devil, and The Quick and the Dead were also released in theaters. While not all of them were commercial successes, there was undoubtedly a demand for them that kept them in production. Young Guns 2 was also a somewhat successful video rental.